Hello students, welcome back to our last video on substitution. So last video we learned that if you have two equations that graph as somewhere in between the grid, you can use substitution to find the exact point where they meet. And so the two equations, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2 and y equals x, if I substitute x in for y and then solve for x, then x is 3 over 2. And if y equals x, then y also equals 3 over 2. And so the solution is 1.5, 1.5, or if you like fractions, 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. So in this equation, y equals negative 2 and 4x minus 3y equals 18 are two equations. Where they meet, I'm not sure, but we're going to figure that out by substitution. So I'm going to take negative 2, which is y, and I'm going to replace y with negative 2 in the other equation. So I have 4x minus 3 times negative 2 equals 18. I just have to solve for x here. So 4x, negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6 equals 18. You may ask yourself, you may say, Mr. Murphy, that's not a negative 3, that's a minus 3. Well, minus 3 and negative 3 are the same thing. Minus 3 is the same as plus negative 3. So you can use them interchangeably. All right, with that going, negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. I have a two-step equation, 4x plus 6 equals 18. I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. This will leave me with the x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. Numbers cancel out there. 18 minus 6 is 12. 4 times what equals 12, so I will divide by 4 on both sides, and 4x divided by 4 is 1x. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now most people are like, yay, I got the answer. You do not. You have half the answer. You have to take this answer and go back into one of your equations and substitute in for x and solve for y. Now you may be saying to yourself, but Mr. Murphy, y is negative 2. And you're absolutely right. But let's double check. So I'm going to take this second equation where there is an x, and I'm going to replace x with 3. So I have 4 times 3 minus 3y equals 18. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 3y equals 18. The two-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 12 on both sides, and I'll have negative 3y is equal to 6. Negative 3 times a number equals 6, so I'm going to divide by negative 3 on both sides, so 6 divided by negative 3, and negative 3y divided by negative 3 is positive y. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And you are absolutely correct. Y is negative 2. So the solution to this equation is 3, negative 2. Now look at number 6 here. It's a little bit more complicated because y doesn't equal a number. Y equals 5x minus 7. We can still substitute 5x minus 7 into y. And here's how we do it. So we're going to take this second equation and we're going to rewrite. So negative 3x minus 2 times 5x minus 7. It's very important. Equals negative 12. It's very important to put it in parentheses because the whole thing, 5x minus 7, is the y. And so the whole thing needs to be multiplied by this 2. So here's the 2 I'm going to distribute, and it's a negative 2. So be careful with that. All right, we didn't do anything with 3x, so 3x comes down all by itself. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. Negative 2 times, and this is a negative 7 here, so negative 2 times a negative 7 is positive 14 equals negative 12. All right. So we have to do a little bit of work here. Negative 3x minus 10, these are like terms, so I can combine them together. Negative 3x minus 10x is negative 13x plus 14 equals negative 12. So I have negative 13x plus 14 equals negative 12. I can get rid of this. This is a two-step equation. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract 14 on both sides. And so I have a negative 13x equals negative 26. So negative 13 times a number equals negative 26. I'm going to divide by negative 13 on both sides. Negative 26 divided by negative 13. So negative 13x divided by negative 13 is positive 1. We always divide by the coefficient, and it will always be 1. Negative 26 divided by negative 13. So negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. 26 divided by 13 is 2. So my x equals 2. But I'm only halfway done. I have to take the x, and I have to go back up to one of these equations and substitute x for the number. And I'm going to do it with the first equation because it's going to be easier. So I'm running out of little room here, but I'll do it up here on the top. Y equals 5 times, what is our number? 2. 5 times 2 minus 7. So y equals 5 times 2 is 10 minus 7. Y equals 10 minus 7, which is 3. So my y equals 3. So the solution to this system of linear equations is 2, 3. It's the 0.23. Now, I'm going to check this, and I'm way out of room, but I'm going to do it anyhow. I'm going to check it using the second equation, because I haven't used that yet. So I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to substitute in for x, and then take 3 and substitute in for y. So clear this out here. So negative 3 times 2 minus 2 times 3 equals negative 12. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, and minus 2 times 3 would be minus 6 equals negative 12. Negative 6 minus negative 6 is negative 12, and that also equals 12. And so because that's the right number, I have the right answer. Yay! So, substitution. Quick reminder. Take the value of one of your letters, whether it be a whole expression with an x and a number, or if it's just a number by itself, replace it into your second equation, solve, and then take that number, put it into another equation, solve, and then check by putting both numbers into the equation and solving again.